Welcome back. It's time for us to talk athletics now. We have Ben Efe, athletics writer with the Vanguard newspaper. He's right here in the studio. Ben, good to have you. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's been a long while I came to Channel. So when I was coming, I actually missed my way. And,
like that. I mean, you need to not be too don't be gone for too long next time.
Okay.
That's what it meant.
Okay, let's cut to the chase now.
Yeah, of course. We'll start. I mean, athletics since the new board came on, it's relatively quiet.
I thought you were going to start with 2017 was a bad year for athletics. Then you're now going to 2018 now, but I'm just
like, do we have to flog that?
No, we're not flogging.
So. So let's just start progress, right?
We can take everything you want.
We can take everything we want to. Yeah. Okay, Taya want to start with that. It wasn't really a good year. We all know that. But then we forget about the past and move forward. We have so many competitions coming up, and what different states are planning and all that. We're happy that Delta State's kind of, more like taking it upon themselves to try as much as possible to, should I say, wake up the sleeping sports, because when I mean waking up the sleeping sport, we are not winning medals at international stage. It simply means the sport is sleeping.
All right, Delta States, they did well. They camped their athletes in Abuja, for, I don't know whether it's for the National Sports Festival that is coming or for the Commonwealth Games. I wouldn't know, but they are trying to keep the sport going. The Delta State is just about the only state in Nigeria that is pushing sports. Lagos used to be there, and even Cross River, they used to be there before. Cross River had an excellent program they were doing. Suddenly they stopped it, and athletics is just down where it is right now. We don't know where we are going. That's the story.
Okay. Okay. Now let's start from. Let's talk about the Warri Marathon that is coming up. In March. That's one of those stuff. Before, I remember when it started. It was just for. They said it was just going for peace and all that, only for the athletes, from the states. But right now it's going to be a national thing. This time around, why is it different? What are we expecting?
Yeah, like the idea behind the Warri Peace Marathon was to just promote peace in the area. Warri, Efuru, Sapele, all those areas. How restive the youths are there. So the idea was to use sports to reach out to these youths so that they can have other dreams other than violence.
Right.
So the first edition, we had athletes just from the area, but we now had national athletes coming to join the fray, and the organizer said, well, if that's the case, let's push it open to the national. And funny enough, we've been having inquiries from the East African runners because they always want to be in the marathon, but unfortunately for now it's only for Nigerian athletes.
Right.
So this year's edition is for March 3rd, and we're expecting that a whole lot of people will come from all over the country to come and participate.
Interesting.
And, I would say that it's a good thing that we are having the marathon in Warri and Lagos, and then maybe the Okpekpe race, because it provides an avenue for the local athletes to start building themselves up, for the bigger ones in New York, Boston, and all the other places.
big dreams indeed.
I love the fact that last season.
I was just going to say that this is the third edition. Well, last year's edition, the winner, very interesting. Was a youth couple.
A youth couple, yes.
Adamu Mwazu.
Yes.
What's up with him now?
Well, there are a whole lot of athletes training right now for the Warri Peace Marathon.
Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back. Some other athletes who are there too, but I can't mention their names now. I know that the last time I talked to Coach Umoru, he told me that a whole lot of athletes are getting ready because it's just an avenue for them to win some money, to keep themselves together, and also train, maybe for the other races coming up in the year.
Okay. Now, let's switch our attention right now to the Commonwealth Games. I mean, trials have been going on, with the one in Port Harcourt is the most recent one, Patience Oko is one of those athletes that have qualified for the Commonwealth Games. We're still waiting for all other athletes that will qualify for the Commonwealth Games. From what you've seen so far, the different trials that the AFN have been organizing across different states, from what you've seen, do you think we have the athletes that can represent us so well. I'm not talking about the elite athlete. Now, we know the usual names that will come to mind, likes of Blessing Okagbare. Let's leave them outside them. Patience Oko, after that. All these other athletes, do we really have them?
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Most of the athletes will be reliant on outside this country. You know, we have Patience Oko and Margaret Bangboshi and the other local athletes who are trying their best. We also have, for the men, we have Ogogene Eguero, you know, have Tegao Dele, who are still here in the country. They'll be running in the Golden League, like you mentioned. But basically, we are not ready for the Commonwealth Games. You know, let's just tell ourselves the truth, because we don't have any plan for it. Why did I say so? You see that other countries like South Africa, England, they already have their team. As we are talking here, they have their team ready for the games, but we've never done our Commonwealth Games trials. You know, as we are talking, we only just have one athlete who I'm very sure that can give us a medal, you know, in the individual events. That's Toby Amusa in the 100 hurdles. You know.
Not Blessing?
No, Blessing. I don't know about Blessing yet, because I've not seen her run this season.
Recent, okay. Yeah. What about...
And you know that the Commonwealth Games is coming in April. Where the athletes have not even reached their peak. You know, some of them are just coming out from the indoors. And then for you to be sure of a medal in the Commonwealth, you have to have athletes, when you tap them, wake them up, and they'll be ready